Hi everyone. Welcome to yet another lecture in IELTS 10-minute concept series with me, Vandana. Now, in just about 10 minutes today, I am going to dive deep into IELTS speaking and I'm going to wrap it up within just 10 minutes and I'll be telling you everything about IELTS speaking. So, let's quickly get started. Alright, so the very first thing, let's understand the duration. Now, what happens is on the day of exam, your speaking module is going to last for only 11 to 14 minutes. This is going to be the shortest module. पता भी नहीं चलेगा और ये खत्म हो जाएगा. And it can be face-to-face interview with the examiner, as in it can be in person, as in you'll be sitting face-to-face with the examiner, and it can be online as well. Right now, a lot of students ask me that will we get an Indian examiner or foreigner? You will get an Indian examiner, plus it will be a one-to-one interview. A panel will not be sitting interviewing you. It will just be one-to-one interview with one examiner and you. And the examiners are super trained. They'll make you feel comfortable. Right in part 1, they'll make you feel comfortable. Part 1 of IELTS speaking. All right. Now, this speaking module is divided in 3 parts. First part is known as introduction. The second one, where we have to speak for 2 minutes, is known as longer haul, or we also call it the cue card round. And the third is discussion round. So, ab in तीनों में होता क्या है? What exactly happens? Do you think they will ask you something like this in the introduction, that please tell me something about yourself, or please introduce yourself? No, that's not going to happen. Let's see hota kya hai one by one. And first, let's also understand the scoring criteria, that what exactly examiners are looking for so that they can give you a good score. So there are 4 criteria. Criteria number 1 is fluency and coherence. Fluency has got nothing to do with speaking fast. Fluency is just being able to express yourself with clarity without fumbling. That's it. Coherence means you have to logically connect your ideas together. Plus, you also need to make sure that you are not going off topic. Whatever the question is asking, you are exactly responding that only. Secondly, it is about lexical resource. Now, lexical resource is vocabulary. And when it comes to vocabulary, in speaking module, you can use formal vocabulary as well as informal vocabulary. The kind of English that we use with our friends when we are sitting with them in a cafe and chit-chatting with them, very informal English, relaxed, that kind of English is also acceptable in the speaking module. But yes, don't do that in the writing. In speaking, absolutely okay. Moving on, the third one is grammatical range and accuracy. So, of course, this is a language proficiency test. They will see whether you are able to give accurate grammatical structures or not. Plus, range means they'll try to see whether you have variety of different grammatical structures in your answers or not. And the fourth criteria, of course, is pronunciation. So, pronunciation matters. I mean, if you are pronouncing words incorrectly, so everything is recorded. There will be a recorder on the table and that will impact your score. So, another thing that you need to keep in mind for pronunciation is, if I am the examiner and I am interviewing you, whatever you are speaking, I should be able to understand you without straining my ears. So, I should be able to understand you effortlessly, right? If I am straining my ears to understand you, then the pronunciation score goes down. And yes, using right stress and intonation is also important. Moving on, let's understand that what exactly happens in part 1. So, part 1 of IELTS speaking is going to last for somewhere around 4 to 5 minutes. In these 4 to 5 minutes, examiner is easily going to ask you somewhere around 8 to 12 questions on different topics. So, it can be hometown, hobbies, work or study, daily routine, but you cannot predict, you cannot memorize that, okay, only these topics will be asked, so let me memorize. You can't do that. The topics, they will change. I mean, that you cannot just predict that, okay, these are the set topics which I have to prepare for part 1. That does not happen. So today only a student of mine reported to me that in part 1, she was asked these kind of questions, that how often Indians say thank you. So you just cannot predict these kind of questions, okay? Moving on. Here are some tips that you can follow to score high. So give more than one-liner answers. In part 1, I tell my students to give 3 to 4 sentences long answer. I wouldn't say 2 to 3. 2 sentences is too short for me. So give more than one-liners answers. I would say 3 to 4 sentences. Personalize your answer. Stick to your own reality. Do not try to impress the examiner. If it's about hobbies, talk about your actual hobbies. If you try to impress the examiner by talking about some fancy hobby that you do not have, you will start fumbling. So stick to your reality and avoid memorized answers, because we trainers as well as the examiners, we can spot when you are giving us memorized answers, and if you do that on the day of exam, the examiner is going to change the topic instantly. So don't do that. And here is a sample question. For example, something like this: do you enjoy your job or your studies? Why or why not? In part 1, if you answer why or why not, if you say that yes, I like my job because blah blah blah, you're giving reasons. And if you say no, I don't enjoy my job, then give reasons for that. If you are giving reasons, you'll be sorted in part 1. Moving on, part 2. Now this is the longer haul. We call this cue card round, and this lasts for somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes approximately. So here they'll give you 1 minute to prepare, and you are supposed to speak for 2 long minutes, and you are supposed to speak on a given topic. We call that cue card. Now in this part they'll give you the question in written. आपको written में question दिया जाता है, plus they'll give you 1 minute, plus they'll give you pen and paper so that you can jot down some notes, some keywords. And keywords as in only words. Please do not start writing complete sentences. You will not have time for that. Only some ideas. And once that 1 minute gets over, then it is required for you to be able to speak for 2 long minutes. If the examiner is satisfied, examiner can stop you before 2 minutes also. So the examiner can stop you after 1 minute 30 seconds get over. But you should be mentally prepared to speak for 2 long minutes, right? Then you must cover all bullet points. So cue card question has 3 to 4 bullet points. And if you want to speak at a length for 2 long minutes, it is recommended that you cover all the bullet points given in the prompt. I'll shortly show you a sample cue card question in this session only. But if you want to speak for 2 long minutes, cover all the bullet points, and not just cover them in one liner. I would say dive deep into your story, give details and explanation. However, there is no such rule that you have to cover all bullet points. If you are able to speak for 2 long minutes and you are skipping one bullet point, that is completely fine. Moving on, keep speaking for 2 minutes, but yes, if the examiner interrupts you, then please stop and use examples, details and emotions. And if you speak with emotions, automatically the intonation, right intonation comes in your voice. So for example, if I talk about my favorite place in India, I'll have a very passionate tone over there. My emotions would show on my face. So stick to your reality, that will bring the emotions out. And use past, present and future tenses for, of course, number one, you can compare that earlier it used to be like this, now it's like that. However, in the future, I'm planning something like that. So that will give a range to your answer. But at the same time, be mindful that whether the question is in present, past or future. So whichever tense the question is in, your majority of the part of the answer will be in the same tense. So if the question is in present tense, you'll have to give the answer in present. You can do a little bit of comparison with past and future also, but major part of your answer will be in present. So be mindful of the tenses. At the same time, show variety of tenses to the examiner so that they can give you a good score on grammar. Moving on, now this is how a sample question looks like for part 2 cue card. It says, describe a book you recently read, what the book is, who wrote it, what it is about, and why you liked or disliked it. A lot of you have this query that we don't read books, so how exactly we can talk about such topics for 2 long minutes? And I have answered this in my other videos also. I have said that even if you are not a book reader, I'm sure you guys watch movies. And there are so many movies which are based on the stories of books, right? For example, you have Harry Potter, you have Half Girlfriend, you have Two States, and so many others. So pick up any movie, talk about it, and make it sound as if you are describing the story of a book, right? So you have to learn to fake it also in speaking. And then start with the name and genre. If this is how you are, if this is the question you are getting, start with the name of the book and also tell the author if you know the author's name, and use linking words like firstly, then, however, but don't forcefully fit them in your answer. Wherever you are required to use them genuinely, authentically, only there you should use them. Don't forcefully fit them in every single sentence. That way you will start sounding robotic and the score goes down. And wrap up with your personalized opinion. Part 2, I always tell my students, is about diving deep into your story. So it's about that. Part 3 is follow-up questions. So whatever prompt you got in part 2, now the examiner is going to ask you related questions in part 3. Related as in part 2 topic and part 3 topic will remain the same. For example, in part 2, if the topic is on books, that talk about a book that has impacted you the most, then part 3 is also going to be on books, but this time the examiner will ask you general questions, opinion based questions. The examiner might ask you, for example, that do you think e-books will replace paperbacks in the near future? Now you have to take a stand and you have to give your opinion and justify your opinion as well. So that's how part 2 and part 3 topics are related. Okay, so this one also takes somewhere around 4 to 5 minutes to wrap up. It doesn't mean that you have to speak 4 to 5 minutes non-stop. It means the entire part 3 lasts for somewhere around 4 to 5 minutes. What happens is they ask you somewhere around 4 to 6 questions in part 3. So they'll ask question, you'll give answer. Together it comes down to 5 minutes. It's not like that you have to speak on one question non-stop for 5 minutes. That is just not the case. Okay. Now they are going to ask you abstract topics, opinion-based questions related to part 2. For example, do you think reading habits are changing among young people? So it's again related to books. And the skills tested are your critical thinking skills. This is important. This is extremely important. You know why? A lot of students feel that IELTS is only about English. Yes, it is about English language, but it is also about your critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills means your ability to take a stand, your ability to put across your opinion confidently, and you will be required to put across your opinion in speaking also and in writing also when you get opinion essay. So that is related to your critical thinking skills. You should be able to put your opinion across. And you should be able to justify your opinion as well. For example, if the examiner asks me that, do you think work from home is better than work from office? I have to take a stand here. I have to give my opinion. And I would say, yes, definitely work from home is far better than working from office. And that's my opinion. Now to give length to my answer, I need to justify that why am I favoring work from home. That is how we justify, by giving reasons. And alright, so here are some do's and don'ts. Number 1, of course, even if you are nervous on the day of exam, don't let it appear on your face. Look confident. Have that confident body language. Extend your answers. That means, of course, explanation will get you a high score. Explanation. Nothing like it. And paraphrase when stuck. Paraphrasing means saying the same thing which the question is saying, but in different language, not copying the language. And use intonation and natural pauses. But do not ever memorize your answers. Do not speak too fast, because if you speak too fast, it gives the impression that you are nervous. And do not ever give one word or one-liner answers, and do not panic if you make a mistake. Just correct yourself and move on. It's all right. Everybody sometimes make mistakes while speaking. It's all right. Just correct yourself and move on. And that is about it. I hope I was able to help you a little bit with this lecture. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, everybody. Take care.